Okay, so next on Akashic Records Unveiled, we have a lovely lady. I was so pleased to have her on my show in January. And Erica is truly unique. I have been in this industry, I've been speaking on stages and online for a very, very long time. I think 16 years now or something. And Erica's one of those people who you can see, she glows with authenticity. She's really bloomed into herself through her own life challenges, right? So she's going to share a higher view, a perspective you never knew. And I saw something, she said there's going to be a message from Archangel Michael. So it's going to be cool. So she's an energy healer and she uses multidimensional techniques to heal the whole person from an ego, mind, body, and soul perspective. By integrating soul, sound, and light codes and playing in the quantum field of reality, she's able to pull together those aspects of her clients that have not been realized or fully integrated. Woo. This integrative approach also allows for those on the autism spectrum to heal and be seen sometimes for the first time. Erica teaches her clients how to communicate on a soul level and bring through their own codes of light to facilitate healings. And you're going to find her at ericavanEaten.com. And her free gift is a basket full of wonderful goodies like divine love meditation and a root chakra expansion and all kinds of goodies. So you sign up over there, you'll get it. They all went out last night. So if you're already on the email list, you got it. And so welcome. Thank you so much for being here. You're so sweet too, jumping in kind of at the last minute.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to play with you today. This is always a fun topic. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah. So share with everybody a little bit about, your journey about coming to this, because you have a personal life journey that knocked on your door and said, your soul purpose is over here, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. So first off, thank you for everyone for being here. And there's Archangel Metatron is standing with me. So there's going to be a lot of healing. Archangel Michael's kind of overseeing and Archangel Metatron is standing right with me. And there's already transmissions coming through. There's going to be a lot of transmissions coming through my voice. So go ahead and before I even say anything, we kind of need to ground. So take a big breath and allow Mother Earth to come up and just give you a great big hug. And then even if it's difficult for you to receive, because for a lot of us it has been, let's just play pretend for a moment. Pretend that it's possible for you to receive the gratitude that we're sending you all for just being here with us and sharing this time-space continuum with us today. And if you still can't feel it, say, what would it take for me to be open to receiving? It just kind of opens a little bit of space when we ask a question like that for us to ponder what it would feel like. And sometimes that's enough to be able to take it in. Good. Thank you. So my journey began with the birth of my oldest son. And if you're crying, if you're yawning, just know that the healing is coming and allow yourself to breathe as we talk through this process. So the journey with my oldest son began 14 years ago, and he was born with Down syndrome, and we later realized was on the autism spectrum. And he would come to me in his dream state when he was really young, and he would show me himself doing something that he wasn't yet able to do in the physical world. So for Down syndrome, we often have low muscle tone, and there's, even with autism, there is a mind-body disconnect, and we can kind of get into that later. So he would give me these vivid dreams, and I would see him doing the thing that he couldn't yet do in the physical world. And there would be this emotion attached to it and this imagery, these colors. And I would wake up the next morning and the dream would be so real. I would have the memory imprinted in me, the emotions imprinted in me. And what he was showing me how to do was to connect him into the memory in the quantum field and hold the frequencies for him of that memory that were in the quantum field. And so then he could step into those frequencies and then do the thing. And it would be shortly after these dreams that he would be able to do this thing. And so if we begin to look at ourselves as these incredible containers of frequencies. And so I know we're talking about the Akashic Records today, but again, every lifetime that you've ever lived, regardless of where, the experiences that you've had carry a range of frequencies, and those frequencies are imprinted in the energy field that connects all things. So for us, what I teach in my classes, or if I'm working with private clients, is training your body to carry the frequencies of the memories that we want to attune ourselves to. And here, when we're on the earth plane, everybody take a big deep breath again, because here comes another wave of energy in. Here on the earth plane, we connect to the quantum field mainly through our emotions. And every emotion that we have releases different kinds of chemicals in the body. Now, these chemicals radiate out, they carry a frequency, and so they radiate out, and they're either radiating out waves that are very harmonic in appearance, or they're disharmonic in appearance, meaning that the particles of energy within those waves are either working together to create this nice, beautiful wave formation, or they're just kind of chaotically bumping against each other, and it creates this very kind of jagged, incoherent vibration. So when we express emotions of anger, fear, guilt, shame, resentment, those emotions release so many chemicals within the body that are all radiating out this incoherent frequency. And because that stimulates chaos in the body and in the mind, we aren't able to fully process, oftentimes when we're not conscious, all those chemicals and toxins. So all those chemicals, in the form of mainly like neuropeptides, they stay locked in our tissues, our fascia, our muscles, our brain tissues. And what they do is they radiate out, and they continue to connect us to the memories of pain, of lack, of fear, of resentment, and of anger. And the only thing connecting us to those memories of lack and limitations are these chemicals that are stored in our body. So if we can begin to breathe through and begin to release this on a very organic, physical level, then we begin to really change what we are radiating out into the field. And we can begin connecting into the memories of these other lifetimes that do bring us joy. Whether they're past, present, or future, whether they've been on other planetary systems, it doesn't really matter. It's the frequency that these things hold. So yes, there's an Akashic library. There's more than one library. There's libraries within the earth. There's libraries, in our body. But if we want to be able to access them in such a way that allows us to step into the frequency to become that new memory of this life that we want to curate, we have to vibrate at that level. And so we have to approach this from a mind, body, spirit, ego perspective.
Yeah, when we have the opportunity to become something. So many, many decades ago, I was learning radionics, which is like Rife. It's a frequency where you actually dial in frequencies, send it to people through their hair or their fingernail. You assess their everything in this. And the underlying concept was to remind you of your vibration of functional perfection for you, right? Is to remind that. And now when we're accessing higher realms, right, with higher frequencies coming in and veils thinning and all these kind of things, that idea of being able to just go get something is much more important now, to become, like you said, to shift your vibration so that you become the right phone number, right, to receive the call that's optimal for you at this time.
Yeah. And that's why it's important to remember that nothing is really outside of us. All these frequencies are within us, and we have to hold them, and we have to embody them and start to live them out if we wish to curate that kind of existence here and with each other. And so just take another big breath in. We can often get tied up with the terminology of block, of subconscious programming, and even of, like in September, one of the classes I taught in the membership portal, we were blowing up and looking at a simple way to blow up contracts, vows, bonds, oaths, things like that, that we've made with other people in the past, whatever, that are keeping us stuck, because it's all energy. It's just a ball of energy. And all we have to do is attune to something different and blow up that stream of energy that's radiating out. It's like a thread. We can break up that thread, and you can do it right now with yourself in this now moment. If you want to think about something that you wish you weren't a vibrational match to. It doesn't matter what it is. Just anything that you're like, I wish I wasn't a vibrational match to this. I'm ready to attune to something different. Well, I want you to start imagining energy running through your head, through your crown, and into your heart. This is just pure consciousness. Our heart runs through our hands. Our hand chakras are extensions of our heart. And we're just going to start feeding this energy, this very beautiful, clean, crisp, clear energy through our hands. And so when we start running energy through our hands, we can kind of tune into where these cords are at in our field and just allow your hands to find the spot. And what you're going to do is just use the frequency that's coming through your hands to break up those streams of energy that are coming out from you into the field that's connecting into the memory. So when two waves come together, the one that is stronger is they cause a short term of chaos. And then it comes into a new wave formation, and it's going to start to resonate at the level of the stronger vibration. And if we're resonating out and feeling that gratitude that we sent you at the beginning when I started talking, right? You add that in and you allow yourself to receive that, and you allow yourself to start running that through your hands. You're playing in the quantum field right now. If you allow yourself just to move it, then it can really be that simple. And so if you want to begin to remember what you do want to attune yourself to, whether it's a loving relationship, whether it's a higher paying job, or more freedom within your work, or health in some way that you don't have it right now, even if it's a more spiritual experience or existence here on earth, we start to tune into that memory, just play pretend. What if I lived a lifetime where I actually experienced this? And we play with the what if. And we play with that parallel reality that's actually existing right now with this one, because it's carrying frequency. So we were like, oh, what if it was actually like this? What if I actually had this experience? And that carries a range of frequencies that we can start attuning ourselves to. So we play with our what if, we play with our daydreams again, like when we were children. And we start to feel the emotions like, oh my gosh, if I was experiencing this, I would be feeling like this. Wow. And we started tuning ourselves and plugging in to that memory, because we start feeling that emotion of that thing, and that emotion of that thing starts radiating out, releasing the chemicals in the body that are going to start radiating out a vibrational match to this new memory. And then we attune ourselves to that new memory.
Yeah, I love it. Well, one of the things is so fun is when people start to, and now it's happening so fast, wake up to realizing like it's simple, it's that shift, and then allowing and noticing the energy that's moving within you, what wants to be released. One of the things I'd love your perspective on is oftentimes what I've seen for decades, but more accelerated now, is that as you get into this place where you're like, oh, I want to expand, I want to know who I am, I want to communicate, I'm doing my meditation or whatever. And then you run into a fear or a block or, a pattern. And it seems like you run into them more and more often now. And you feel like, but I just thought things were getting good. And then this fell apart. And then this happened and this fell apart. And I usually tell people, congratulations, if you say your life is falling apart. But it's because of the accelerated expansion we're having. Right. Mm-hmm. And as we move, instead of looking for our wounds like we used to, fix this,
Right.
we just start expanding, like you said, into, well, who could I be and who was I? And if you weren't it, somebody was. What else could I get attuned to that, energies that does know what it's like to feel this way? And then you will find those on the way.
Absolutely. And the reason why we run into them is because we expand and then our body's ready and feel safe enough to release another layer of those stored neuropeptides, of those stored chemicals that we've held. The body consciousness itself is this beautiful macroorganism that has its own voice. And when our physical body dies and our spirit leaves, part of that consciousness goes with our soul to the other side, wherever that may be for you. And the rest of your body decomposes into the earth, but all those wisdom codes that you held, that microbacteria, those parasites, those viruses that make up this physical container held, all those wisdom codes, they seep back into the earth. So when you come back and are born again and are developing as a fetus in the womb space of your mother, because of the term harmonic resonance, just meaning like attracts like in the physics world, those codes, those microbacteria that are holding the memory of who you have been previously, they make their way back to you and start to develop your physical container once again. So it's the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Like all of it, but none of it's really bad or none of it's really ugly. It's just experiences. So we heal very many layers. So we're never really done healing because there's so many layers to us.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, is there any other messages coming in for us now?
Let's just take a deep breath in. So if it's okay with everyone, Archangel Metatron is going to come in. We're going to do a little light language and we're going to clear up some more of these cords. I just want you guys to start to bring forward other things that you know that you are currently a vibrational match to, that you wish to, you're ready to pull that frequency right out. Okay. So you might feel your hands start moving. You might feel yourself swaying because the body wants to move, to really start to move some of these chemicals out of the body. That's why walking is so important. And exercise is kind of coming up more and more often. It's kind of playing in the background of your mind to get yourself out there and moving a little bit, even if it's just a nice slow walk. It's something that helps the muscles because this is a physical thing. Like these really need to get moved out of your body. So go ahead and take another big breath in. Let me get some more water. So we're just bringing in codes of light. You are free to receive these and move these through yourself. So just pull on these little cords, allowing them to release the hold, because you see there's like this holding pattern. You have these neuropeptides and other chemicals stored throughout the physical container that you haven't been able to process, and they're radiating out, they're weaving into these memories. And so they kind of hold each other stuck. So first we can start to break up the cords, which will free the chemicals and the neuropeptides to start moving. And we move these toxins, we move these chemicals and neuropeptides through our urine, through our breath, through our sweat. So the other thing to keep in mind is that, yes, we're this physical being, but every cell of our body breaks down into trillions of atoms of energy, and they all have a slight rotation to them, right? So this is much bigger than just what this physical container looks like. That's why when we ground even bigger now. We ground like a redwood tree, because we're not just grounding like a lightning rod through the physical container, but it's through the entire energetic matrix that needs to ground into the ground. Because when we're doing energy work, or when we're running energy, period, we are running energy through the entire aspect of who you are. When we're wishing to ascend, we don't just ascend the mind, we don't just ascend the physical container. We're asking for everything to begin to shift and change. And so our connection with the earth shifts and changes too. She's a multi-dimensional galactic being of light. So we can begin to change our perspective even about our connection with her and who she is. So we're just kind of working our way up the back chakras, up the back of your spines and opening up that. We take in so much energy when we don't trust ourselves. We take in energy from the outside world and from the field around us. And we start consuming that energy instead of our own. And then it clogs up these back portals that we have in our backs, because energy like comes in through the back and it flows out through the front. So we just need to open up those clogs, and we don't get so clogged up if we're just consuming our own energy, right? When we begin to trust ourselves and trust our journey here. When we begin plugging in and see how much fun we can have with these new memories, with these new ways of being, playing the what if game. Okay, it's beginning to feel a little better. So take another big breath in. Okay. You can kind of start to come back and just let me know how you feel or if you have any questions.
Ah, wonderful. So one person asked, can you give a hint about the gratitude exercise, or, in doing that? I think that for me a long time ago, the idea of be grateful became like a chore.
And it's hard to reach that when you're not even remotely close to that.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just breathing and getting to a place of neutrality. And that's why we opened up with, and I know that I don't think she was on when I started talking, of what would it feel like? Or what if I was good at receiving? What if I was good at, or what if I could feel gratitude right now? What if? We start to ask the question, so we're not forcing any aspect of us to play in that kind of realm. When we tell our mind what to do, that's not a very trusting relationship. When we tell our body what to feel, that's not a trusting relationship. The body has a voice, your mind has a voice, your ego has a voice, your spirit has a voice, and we need to bring all these voices together. So if we are commanding and just demanding one of these aspects to not be feeling or not be thinking what it's going through in that moment, you're going to create even more resistance. So if we ask the question, well, what would it feel like if I was just in a neutral space right now? That gives the mind permission to, and it doesn't create that resistance, that block to being able to go there. And so it's going to be able to say, okay, well, I don't know, what would it feel like? And then the body will say, well, what would it feel like? I'm not sure. But if we ask the question and we spark the curiosity, so then we can start to bring these different aspects to us to start to ponder, okay, what would it feel like to go up from one step from here? And then step up from here.
Yeah, I call it rock climbing. You look at the scale and you go, okay, I can't go from where I am in now in anger or shame or blame or something all the way up to peace, but I could get to anger, or I could go to here, right? And you could like work your way up.
Yeah. So it does matter when we open up the communication between these different working parts of us. It works a lot faster. Yeah. Works a lot faster. So Barbara asked a question. She said,
Barbara said she has muscular dystrophy and broke her left leg and can't walk anymore. Is there anything that you can offer?
So Barbara, I really honor your body's experience and what you're experiencing. But what if we started to remember what it was like when it was working in perfect harmony with your spirit? So what if you close your eyes right now, and everyone on the call can do this, close your eyes right now and just connect with your body consciousness. and bring your mind consciousness forward. You can bring your ego consciousness forward. And if you've never opened up and done work with your ego in this way, you might feel the most resistance there, and that's okay. Just allow them to be a witness to what's occurring. So we can just begin to say, body, I am so sorry that you held on to all of this energy for me. And I didn't give you a voice to express what you needed to express. I didn't teach you how to move emotion through you properly because I didn't know. But I'm here with you now. I'm ready to remember a different way of being now, where I honor each aspect of me. And we start playing in the energy field and in the quantum field differently together. So together we can hold hands and we can start remembering what it felt like when we felt pure health. We can begin to remember what it felt like when our bones were strong and our muscles worked well and the fascia was glowing with light running through it. And the tendons and ligaments were shiny and malleable. So there's like a lot of grief coming up for quite a few of you. Just allow that to come forward and honor it. And use your breath to start to release and give space for those chemicals to come forward and to be moved through you as we work in the field and start disconnecting those frequencies, those threads going into the old memories. And then you start moving into the new memory. You start allowing yourself to play with what if. What if I was perfectly healthy? What would that feel like? What would I be thinking? What would I be doing throughout my day? And just allow yourself to breathe.
Beautiful. Thank you. Let's see. Destine said, thank you so much, Erica. Appreciate that much was much needed. And the information was very insightful. Linda said, amazing. Thank you for your gifts. Jenna was yawning a lot. Already explained that's releasing, some form of releasing, yawning, stretching, belching, all of that. Samantha said, thank you. Julie, oh, okay. Well, we'll do that in a minute. Barbara said, thank you so much. So Julie asked if we could all send some peace to Florida for the hurricane. And I think that might be a lovely thing to share.
I just taught a class on allowing yourself to run energy without any of our preconceived notions of what it should feel like or what it should look like.
Yeah.
So just being a pure channel. So just take a deep breath in. And we're going to put Florida in the field. We're not going to see the destruction, but we're going to see the sunshine state. We're going to see the oranges. We're going to see the beaches. We're going to see that beautiful weather. The trees and the homes. So that's the memory in the quantum field. So in order for us to really send beautiful, clear, healing energy to that, take a deep breath in. And let's come back to a place of gratitude. So what would it take for me to feel gratitude in this moment? What would it take for me to allow for the frequency of gratitude to run through me? And now run that frequency of gratitude to this new memory of Florida that's brightly lit, that's experiencing peace and prosperity. And joy. See the dolphins jumping in the oceans along.
Happy. Yeah. I just keep getting happy.
Yeah.
Happy. Yeah. Well, and I really appreciate what you were saying, because it's been a long time since the white tigers told me to stop sending them pity. And so, yeah, when we see something like this happen, we want to send love. We also want to respect everybody involved, including the planet, that they're on their path in some way. One of my clients lived one of the places with all the fires this summer. It was terrible. And they were watching the destruction of all this nature around them. And then about 2 or 3 months later, we were on the phone and she said, I've never seen growth so fast. Is literally wildflowers, new growth, like not within a couple of years, but like within a couple of months. And it was new life, so it's that cycle. Like you said, when you leave your body, you don't die. Your body says, I'm done, I'm moving on. And there's another one. So there's always a transformation. And yes, some people will be experiencing some loss, but don't feel like they're victims. You don't make them any more of a victim by seeing them as a victim.
Right. When we do what we just did, we allow for, there's this beautiful theory in physics called the chaos theory. And it's, when we did this earlier, when we looked at the frequency that's incoherent, but we bring in this frequency of just beauty, love, and gratitude, it's going to break up this incoherent frequency and it's going to come into something even greater, something even more beautiful. If you think about a waterfall and it looks like chaos as all the water droplets are going down and splashing, but then you look downstream and you see like the most beautiful flow of water and stream. Same thing can happen as long as we don't get in the way, as long as we just allow ourselves to be this clear conduit.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Didn't we all get a treat? Holy wow. Erica VanEaten.com. And if you get on there, we will send you her wonderful gifts. Is there anything you would like to end with?
No, I just want to say thank you. Thanks everybody for playing with me today. Thank you for being present and sharing your energy. So I love it.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you. Yes, I agree. Wow. Thank you. Karen said, thank you very much. Loving energy is very powerful. So thank you. Linda's in Florida and she felt that beautiful image. Fantastic. Yeah. And imagine with all of us together in this beautiful space all day, we're building this container, right? And we're sending more. So we'll keep doing that. Thank you, Erica. Big hugs.
Bye.
Take care. Okay. Dana says, thank you. Appreciate your love. Oh, okay. Wonderful. Yay. Yes, isn't she divine? Like I said, she just glows with that authentic love and that authenticity, and she just brings this wave of incredible healing energy. So, okay, so let's take a moment and breathe into our space. If Shelley is here, our next speaker, put your hand up or something. I'll look for you in a moment. Let's see, can we get a message to the body that Erica took us through? Oh, yes, everything's recorded, sweetie. So it's going to be available as soon as we end today. It'll be on the YouTube channel. And then I'm recording each of these individually. And I am going to then put them up on YouTube as well. So you'll be able to go back to whichever person you wanted to repeat, okay? Marnie would love help to balance your nervous system, peaceful, restorative sleep, ideal eyesight, vision, body, and alignment. Beautiful. Put that in there. Anybody wants to put whatever you want in here. That's what's beautiful. We build this energy. We bring these beautiful people in the container to share something unique, to be the channel. So one of the things I want to point out is Erica had her son born and it looked like something negative. It looked like a tragedy. It looked like a challenge. It looked like being unlucky. And it turned out to be perfect, ideal for her and for her family and for her purpose. And now she's here in the world sharing with us. So we never, ever want to see anything on our path like the hurricane that hit Florida. And we had We had a beautiful little bit of rain, not much, a little tiny bit, because we're over here in the Yucatan in the Gulf of Mexico, a little bit of wind, and now it's still and beautiful and perfect. So we've been very blessed through that particular hurricane. But underlying, it isn't about ever blaming yourself or anybody, right? Like, oh, well, those people obviously have a lesson to learn. Don't use spiritual superiority, right? There's so many energies happening. When you get into accessing higher dimensions, especially something like the 8th dimension, which is like Grand Central Station, right? You can access anything. You realize that there's worlds within worlds and fractured and thoughts and times and spaces, and it just goes on and on and on, right? And we're meant to create our own world, our own universe, our own reality by remembering who we are and activating that tube towards that flow of energy that is actually ours. So I really appreciated Erica bringing the science part in. I love geeking out on the science too. There's Shelley. Okay, good. So we're ending the part with Erica. Peace, love, and grooviness.